Hello, this is Breakfast with Susanna Reid and Charlie State.
Making it easier to sack bad teachers. It's Friday, the 13th of January.
Also ahead, controversial.
Now, the Prime Minister has hinted that the government may change its controversial plans to stop paying child benefit to higher rate taxpayers. In a magazine, Amy Grimley joins us. Very good morning to you, Amy. So just remind us, when is this change supposed to be coming in, and what kind of changes might occur to it?
Well, it comes...
A US military tribunal has recommended that an army private accused of leaking huge amounts of classified government documents to the WikiLeaks website should face a full court-martial. Now, paramedics in Mexico narrowly escaped disaster as they rushed a vital organ to a transplant patient. The medic...
Charlie, as we head through the weekend, for many it's settled and it's jolly nice.
How lovely. Carol, thank you.
Jolly nice weekend to you too, Carol. Thank you very much. 18 minutes past 6. Steph's been looking at cars and rail recently. Today, it's the turn of a rather more exclusive mode of transport. Who can afford to buy what you're looking at, Steph?
Thank you very much. We'll have more of a look round later on. Press some of those buttons, see what else happens.
Yeah. What else would you like on your private jet?
Somewhere to sleep, maybe.
Yeah, for those long journeys. And, yeah, lovely. Fantastic.
On the subject of sleep...
Sleeping, I know. Did you get a good night's sleep last night? Is enough being done to help people with insomnia? 10% of the UK population suffers insomnia. More than 10 million prescriptions for sleeping tablets written in England each year.
Yes, many specialists believe drugs are not the best way of treating sleep problems and that types of counselling offer a better option. At the moment, they're only available in a handful of NHS trusts. Breakfast Tim Muffet has more.
Yes. And I don't go back quite as far as Camberwick Green, but I do remember Trumpton. And I think there was only about a year in it. And anyway, the whole series has been restored in high quality, and we're going to be speaking to the people behind it after 9 o'clock.
And also asking this morning, what are the childhood programmes you'd like to see come back on your screens? Let us know this morning through all the usual means.
Coming up later on Breakfast, they were once under threat, but now barn owl numbers are on the increase. Louise Hubble's in Norfolk for us this morning. Morning, Louise. Good morning. You're watching Breakfast with Charlie State and Susanna Reid.
On this morning's programme, the debate over the best way to treat insomnia. Millions of prescriptions for sleeping pills are handed out every year. We'll examine why some specialists say therapies which don't use drugs should be made more easily available.
Something else we're talking about this morning, how important is the apostrophe? The bookshop Waterstones has been criticised for dropping the apostrophe from its name. How important is that tiny piece of punctuation? We're going to hear the differing views of two grammar experts.
Yes, and Steph's out and about today looking at how Camberwick Green is what we're talking about. Camberwell Green was the next door village.
We could talk about Camberwell Green if you like.
It was close by.
What's the sequel?
In South East London.
But we're talking about it this morning because it's been redone and made even more wonderful than it was originally. So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. 6:39. If you're about to have a bacon butty for breakfast this morning, this might well interest you because new research suggests that processed meat can increase the risk of developing pancreatic cancer.
Scientists in Sweden found that eating 2 slices of bacon or a sausage every day greatly increases the risk of being diagnosed with the disease.
So let's talk to Hazel later on. No, thanks.
Thank you both very much. Let's see, time now, 7:15 exactly. Coming up on the programme today, we'll speak to the man.
Like this morning.
Maybe he saw the weather forecast because it's not too bad at all. It's a cold start to the day. It's all... Charlie and Susanna, it is going to be a nice, quiet, settled weekend. Cold with light winds.
Carol, do you need to buy a second-hand plane?
No.
Aeroplane, jet.
It would be very handy right now. Probably a wee bit expensive though.
It is a wee bit expensive. The reason I ask is because Steph, as you probably know, the last week or so has been looking at buying cars, the cost of rail travel, but now she's looking at a rather more exclusive mode of transport, and I think we've got a sense of what it's all about. Steph, tell us, where are you?
Good morning.
So let's talk about this with Professor David.
Course of treatment that could last a week, could last months. Yeah. I mean, presumably that cost would be enormous.
If you did it all
drunk and actually just tired. And he says he's been on sleeping pills, feels like he's now immune to them, that they're no longer having any effect. I mean, that can't be an unusual experience.
It's an experience that's coming in. We're going to be talking about insomnia a little bit later on in the programme. We're also going to be talking to the Education Secretary about his plans to make it easier to sack bad teachers. And we're talking about the return of Camberwick Green and other children's programmes you'd like to see back on your television.
Time now 7:27. It's time to get the news where you are.
German.
I don't know
programme.
how you...
That was very famous, the Singing Ringing Tree.
Was it?
Hector's House?
Oh, well, Hector's
Now
house.
that-
Everybody knows
was it
Hector's
Hector a
house.
dog?
Yes,
Good.
Kiki
Phew.
and Zaza.
I'm
his
finally
friends.
on the same planet as
And
you,
Hector's
Mike.
house with an apostrophe, of course, because it's Hector's house, isn't
Yes,
it?
the house belonging to
absolutely.
Hector.
Lots of your emails coming.
Over to Steph, who's shopping for a private jet. Steph? No, you're right. It isn't any good asking you. Someone suggested a snooker table on your fantasy private jet.
On takeoff and landing, that'd be tricky.
And in I mean, everything in turbulence is going to be a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be a good test as to whether the pilot was giving you a very, very smooth flight, because you
Magnetic balls on the snooker table.
I think that would just wouldn't work. Trying to think that one through. It's not going to work.
No. Shall we leave you to the news where you are? We'll see you in a moment.
Hello, this is Breakfast with Susanna Reid and Charlie State.
Making it easier to sack bad teachers.
The scenario I put to you was you've got a teacher who's
Yes.
been there for 20 years and no one's done anything.
That's the fault of the head.
Use it. I mean, to go there and look around.
Yeah, as well as encouraging fish life, it's a tremendous resource for the local economy. It's
Presumably, these are fishing waters, and fishermen regularly drop nets in order to catch. Back to
Time
David
now is
Gibson.
8:27.
It's been almost a fortnight since we welcomed in the new year. One part of the UK is celebrating again today.
People living in the Guam Valley in Pembrokeshire follow the ancient Julian calendar, which the rest of the UK stopped using back in 1752. It's been a while.
Well, Sean Lloyd is there for us this morning. He can tell us. Mike has been telling us all morning about the extraordinary Central European animation you used
Yes,
to
I was
watch as a
broadening my
child.
horizons, living on the cutting edge. in
Give us
terms
a quick
TV.
list of the ones you
Paul
remember.
was at home, though. Do you remember Pipkins? That was groundbreaking.
remember
It's one of my
Pipkin?
favourites. Had the first children's characters with regional accents. Top off
Really?
the Cockney monkey, Ostravia the ostrich from France, and Pig with the West Country. I know
It's been quite a year for the actor Tom Hiddleston. He's worked with Kenneth Branagh, Woody Allen and Steven Spielberg. And to top it all off, he's nominated for a BAFTA Rising Star Award this week.
Tom plays Captain Nichols in Warhorse, which is in cinemas, of course, from today. We'll speak to him in just a moment. Good morning.
Good morning. Very much on the First World War and the role, of course, of these magnificent horses in it. Directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
Can we just expect...
That people can only dream about. Yeah, I was...
Now, you've brought your guitar in with you now. You are clearly one of those artists who you're most comfortable with the guitar in hand. Would that be right?
hide behind...
We're talking about. What does it consist of? Just give us a sense.
Yes, it's not counselling.
I was just mentioning to you, because of course everyone has got their own sleep issue. I mean, one of the ones that we have is we wake up such a ridiculous time in the morning, and that can give you an anxiety about whether your alarm clock will go
Absolutely.
off. But you kind of get used to that when it's part of your job. Children can sometimes find it...
Lots of response this morning. Thank you for your time.
Professor David Nutt, thank you very much indeed.